In this video, I'm going to talk about coding and thematic analysis. So here you can see like the menu. So this is NVivo. So we are going to open the sample project. So when you open up your NVivo, you can see there are two options, like a new project or a sample project. If you open up the sample project, then you would see such a page like that. So here we can start playing with that a little bit to see how we can generate codes or create nodes and do sort of thematic analysis using this software. Some of common tasks can be done based on this video. For example, here you can see like this section is about data. We have different sections. The first one is data, so you just click on the data, you can see one of them, or the first one is about files, so you can see different files stored here. One of the folders, different folders, one of the folders is about interviews, so just click on interviews, so you can see there are a few files or interview transcriptions stored here. First one, for example, double click on that and then you can see the transcription here. You can see both of questions and answers. So in this sample, different colors has been used for questions and different color for answers, but that's up to you to insert questions or not. So you can just insert the answers, not the questions. For example, the question here asking something from the participants, and the participants is going to explain it here. So you've got these few lines and you are going to code them and based on whatever they say. So in terms of coding, each code, for example, you say my family moved here when I was 2 years old, in 1969. So you want to say that they moved from somewhere to somewhere else. So if you want to say, okay, this is important to know about this participants, then you go to the nodes section. Here you can see nodes, just click on nodes here, and then you can see some nodes already created in the sample, but you can add one more here. For example, saying that one node is about moving or relocation, something like that. So you can say click on this, select this, move here, and then right click and code. So just use this one, code, so you can easily code it. But if you want to use any of those nodes created, every circle shows one specific node. The first node here is attitude, balance, community change, but you're not gonna use these kind of nodes. You can create a new node here. So if you want to use one of them, click on that, otherwise you create a new node. So the new node is created, but what is the name? So you can say moving from one specific place to somewhere else. So you can say move family, or you can say something like this, yes, and then just press enter. So the new node is created. But if you don't want a new node, you can cancel it easily. So otherwise you okay. When you okay, here it will be appear somewhere saying move family. So you can see, okay, one node is created here. This is one node. It says in one of the files we are talking about moving the family one time. Again, you can read more and say whatever he's going to talk about here when they moved. And then in the next question, this guy is talking about time, or he was full-time working somewhere, it's part-time, or it was full-time but then he got a job. And then you can read this and see what is meaningful or potentially can help you to answer your research question. So it's based on understanding. So for example, in terms of the background of this person, or you think this person is going to do something important about environmental field work, then maybe you can code this one again, code it, and then you can create a new node. If it's not here anything about environment, it's natural environment, there is something here, you can see if it's relevant or not. So natural environment, it's about ecosystem services, environmental changes and impacts, habitat and landscape, all that. But here you can't see anything about environmental field work because it's about his background or like experience working in this area. We just save it, asking to save project, yes, save it, and I'm going to click on the natural environment and create a node in this category, because some of them, you can see some of them there is a little arrow here, little thing here. So if you click on that, you can see lots of child nodes. So for example, this is one node, but this one is a parent node, because when you click on that, you can see a few child nodes are listed here. So you have parent node and child nodes as well. Okay, so click on the natural environment. So you are going to create new node, but this new node is going to be one of child nodes for the natural environment. So you can say environmental field work or environmental background. So it doesn't need to be the same role. You can talk about something a little bit general to cover all similar codes like that, because it's environmental field for environmental background of that specific participant. So you just create this child node. So you've got one child node here. So click OK. Okay, done. So right now, if you click on that, you can see one of them is about environmental background. You've got one code here, extra code that you created. So that is about coding process. But if you want to uncode it, again, you click on that one and then uncode it. This is uncode. If you click on uncode, then it's going to be removed. So we just do that, click on uncode, and it's going to ask you natural environment, this one. So if there is like a sign here, you click on that, it's going to show you environmental background is your last node. Are you going to select this? Yes, you select this, and if you say OK, the code is going to be uncoded or removed. So we do that, and then here just double check environment, natural environment. So you can see environmental background, the node is still here, but it's uncoded, there is no code. But if you right click, you can delete the node itself. But this is a good idea to have this to the end of the coding process. Maybe someone else again talking about that, and you want to still use this node because it looks an interesting or maybe useful node related to your research question. So again, I'm going to back here and click on the environmental field work and again code it. So again code it. So you just click on environmental background, and that's done. Alright, you've got one code here. So this is about coding process. But if you click on that, right click, there is another option saying that open the node. You can open the node if you want, but at the end here there is something like aggregate coding from children. So if you remove this, then you can see it's 0. What does it mean? It means all of nodes here, they have the number of files related to this specific node and references how many times this specific node has been coded. So you coded this kind of concept again, so in even one file repeated several times or different files. So it means this like water quality or concepts related to the water quality has been coded for 147 times. So all of them are listed here. So what you need to do, you want to know all of the environmental things and concepts can be aggregated here and linked to this chart node. You need the overall number here representing the whole thing, how many times like the environmental concepts have been coded. So you just right click and then find the aggregate coding. So if you do that, you can see 325 times you coded this specific concept. So it's not necessarily the sum of all of these numbers here, because some of them are repeated. Maybe you code one thing and link environmental fieldwork to more than one node. So you can do that, and saying that, for example, environmental background 1, at the same time you can code this, because you say, okay, this is relevant because my background is very specific and relevant to ecosystem services. So you code this one, and you can see here ecosystem services is 13 times coded. But if you say okay, then it's gonna be 14 times coded. 9 because we have 9 interviews, for example, or 9 files that we coded already. So this is the same file already. We use this the Barbara file already coded. So we're not going to add any specific file here, but in terms of reference, yes, we reference again to this specific file. That's why it's going to be increased. So the same thing for other parent and child node, but sometimes you have many like grandchildren as well, lots of children here linked to this one, and this one linked to this one, and then all of these are linked to the economy concept. So sometimes it can be like this, a bit complex, sometimes it's not really complex like that, and you have only like move family one specific code. So this is about coding, how you can generate codes and link them together. When you created all required nodes coming from your sample, and then you can look at different cases. For example, how many cases you've got, how many people you've got, or how many places. Then based on that you can make like inquiry and explore more, because this is something you started the analysis of the data. But if you want to explore a little more and see the output, you can run like a query, like a simple query, text search, word frequency, or matrix coding. One of them is matrix coding. I'm going to click this one. So you will see something new here, like matrix coding query. So in this section you have two different windows, this one, right one, and left one. Just click on this add items, like this plus sign here, add items, select items, and then you say I'm going to select different cases, like different people we already interviewed. We interviewed these guys, and then on the right side you just add another count of items, select new items, and then here you say select all of my nodes. So all of these nodes are going to be selected. You say okay. So here you select nodes, and in the left side you select people. So then run the inquiry, run the query. Here there is like a run queries button. Just press this, then the matrix is going to be appeared here. So the software is processing at the moment, so it takes a while to process it. Apparently there are like 142 items should be processed, but you can see all of nodes are listed here, but attitude, mixed or negative attitude, neutral or positive attitude, all of them are listed, like the parent node and children, all of them listed as columns. But here you have interviewees as well, like Barbara, Betty, and other guys, Daniel, Helen, all of them are listed here. So we want to see how many times, for example, Daniel is talking about a negative attitude, and how many times Helen is going to talk about a positive attitude.